In this video, we'll continue our discussion on clone movements, specifically the 3120 clone movement. This movement is generally used in AP models such as the 15450, 15400, and others in that series. In terms of quality, how should I put it? Compared to movements like the 3135, 3235, the 8500, or the P9000, this movement has a slightly higher return rate for repairs. This is because the movement is relatively small and also quite thin. Therefore, its repair rate is a bit higher. What's its most common failure point? The absolute most prone part to break is its clutch wheel. What is the clutch wheel? It's the setting lever jumper used for adjusting the time. Because this setting lever jumper has two functions. One is time setting. When you pull the crown out, it engages the gear train to set the time. Then, when you push it in, it engages the mainspring barrel for winding. So those are its functions. It has several of these functions. It's used quite frequently, and furthermore, the quality of this clutch wheel is relatively poor. It often breaks. So if you feel that setting the time on your watch is very tight or stiff, it's a clear sign that there's a problem with the clutch wheel. Another symptom is, when you're setting the time or winding it, you might suddenly hear a click. This could mean that a tooth on the clutch wheel has either broken off or has been worn down. Other components rarely fail. The only other possibility might be the balance wheel. Under what circumstances does the balance wheel break? Usually, if you drop it or hit it against something. It fails under significant external force. Other than that, if the watch is running normally and suddenly stops, it could be due to gear jamming. This issue of gear jamming can occur in many watches. It even happens occasionally in genuine Swiss movements. The frequency might be lower in Swiss movements, but for our domestic movements, and even Japanese movements like Citizen, the gear jamming issue can occur. The issue of gear jamming, or perhaps overbanking. Sometimes the problem of overbanking also occurs. Those are the two main scenarios. Actually, these minor issues are quite easy to resolve. You can remove the balance wheel and the pallet fork, then reinstall them. This releases the tension, and after reassembly, it should be fine. These aren't major problems. For now, the main issue is that its clutch wheel is prone to failure. This is a stock version. As you can see, there is no engraving in this area. Let's first discuss the differences from the genuine version. The plate has no engraving. The text is printed on. As for the balance wheel, this is a regulated balance wheel. Let's take a look. There's a regulator here and here. This is a regulated balance. Furthermore, this balance wheel lacks counterweights. It doesn't have the weights for micro adjustment. That's one difference. Another point is this outer gear here. It's very fine. The teeth of this third wheel are extremely fine. You can tell they're finer than the genuine one at a glance. We previously modified a 3120 movement. In that video, we replaced this third wheel with a genuine one. Also, this part here, the automatic windings intermediate wheel, the finishing on its axle is quite rough. We also replaced this in our previous video. You can take a look. This movement is also a stock version. It hasn't been modified. Now let's look at a modified movement. This is a movement that has been engraved. You can see the engraving is much deeper. It has been carved into the metal. This engraving offers two advantages. First, the engraving makes it look less like a replica. Second, during servicing and oiling, the text won't be washed away, unlike the printed font on the stock version. If it's the printed font, the paint will be removed during servicing and cleaning. Now let's look at this. This is a modified genuine balance wheel, as you can see. The modified genuine balance wheel. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 counterweights for micro adjustment. These can all be fine-tuned. This is one we've modified. We also converted it to a free-sprung balance. You can see the regulator I mentioned earlier has been completely removed from this side. However, this time, we didn't modify the third wheel or the automatic windings intermediate wheel. Those parts were not changed. It was modified with an instantaneous date jump. This particular engraved movement comes from the factory with this feature. It's different from the instantaneous date jump modification that I perform myself. This factory version is more prone to issues. The probability of failure is very high. The method I use involves directly adding a spring and modifying the wheel itself. That approach is much more stable. So, for this 3120, these are the areas that can be modified. One is the engraving, the balance wheel genuine, free-sprung, and additionally, the third wheel, intermediate wheel, and the instantaneous date jump. This watch can also be modified in many other areas: the dial, the hands. The seconds hand can be changed to one with a solid central post. Then, its crystal can be changed to a super clear, deep-set lens. Another modification is the dial. The dial can be changed to a DP factory, SW factory, or a genuine one. These are all interchangeable. Because this movement is a complete clone, all of its parts are interchangeable with their genuine counterparts. Why? Because we have indeed modified it. We've replaced these wheels and the balance wheel before, and it works perfectly. It is a true one-to-one clone movement. For this movement, that's basically the rundown. To summarize, in terms of quality, it's slightly inferior to some other clone movements. Its main weakness is the failure point of its clutch wheel. Therefore, in our daily use, we must be mindful to minimize the frequency of time setting and winding. If you have a watch winder at home, it's best to place the watch on it to keep it running continuously. Alternatively, wear it frequently. Don't wear it one day and skip the next. This pattern of inconsistent wear will force you to frequently wind and set the time, which can easily lead to problems. Then there are its modifications. Many parts can be modified and upgraded. Besides, the AP 15400 and 15450 are very popular models right now. Many versions are available with extensive modification options, making them highly sought after. As for its appeal, this movement is not unplayable. It is indeed playable, and if issues arise, they can be repaired. The problems are not major ones. It's not like some movements that require replacing multiple parts when they fail. This one is manageable. So, you can decide for yourself what you want to modify. You have the option to modify or to leave it as is. Alright, that's all for this movement. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave a comment, and I will answer each one. Okay.